Hello, it's Andrew, also known as Bunky, and today I wanted to make a deck profile for my Blue Eyes Invoked build. This build is a little bit different than other people's builds because it doesn't have Sage, and it's more based off having a bigger hand than your opponent and just being able to negate things with Makaba. And I really like Invoked in Blue Eyes because I personally think it's the best way to play Blue Eyes, because a lot of people think Guard Dragon is better than Invoked for Blue Eyes. I don't agree with that, just because, first of all, I just think this build's a little bit more consistent, and Guard Dragon might be getting banned because of Thunder Dragons, so that's also a thing. So yeah, this is my build. It's a little bit more budget. It doesn't have like the ash, and um, it's a little bit more budget, but it's still very competitive, and I win a lot of games with this deck, and it's my favorite deck I don't know, I have. Anyways, let's go to the deck profile. Anyways, we have 3 alternative. If you don't know what he does, he's a level 8 that you can summon if you have this Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. So you just basically show Blue Eyes, summon him. He's same stats as Blue Eyes. He can also pop one thing per turn, but he can't attack. So a very common play is you'll use his pop effect, and then you'll just use him as a XYZ or synchro material. So yeah, you need him. You really need him to make Blue Eyes competitive. Without him, Blue Eyes isn't that competitive, so you need him. But you can make a malefic build, and I'm going to actually make a budget Blue Eyes deck profile, so if you're interested in that, subscribe. 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. You need 3. Don't ever play anything lower. 2 Dragon Spirit of White. It pops back row. You need that in this deck. We played 2 because it just synergizes with this deck a little bit better than other Blue Eyes builds. That's the level 8s. So, that's all the big dragons. We play 3 Alistair. This is Invoked, of course, so we play 3. I would never play less. If you don't know what he does, basically drop him or discard for him from the hand to make any fusion monster have 1,000 more attack. But his main effect is when you normal summon him, basically you get to search Invocation, which is the polymerization of this deck. So 3 of those without a doubt. We play 3 White Zona Ancients and 2 White Zona Legends. This is a very egg-based build, so we don't play Sage. So, as I said, the point of this deck is to get a bigger hand. This guy, basically, it's a free +1 if that, or you get a extra Blue Eyes in your hand or extra card. So Makaba has another monster effect negate. And if you don't know what Ancients does, the turn it goes to the graveyard, you can summon a Blue Eyes. And so that's why we play 2 of these, because you can summon this guy, and it's really good. His second effect, you don't use it as much, but you can banish him from the... you banish him from the graveyard, and you can get a Blue Eyes piece from your graveyard back to the hand, so you can just recurse some pieces. Then we play the 1 Master. Master just when you normal summon, you can get one of these eggs back into your hand, so you can use them again, so that's good. Some spicy tech. 1 Glow Up Bulb, 1 Jet Synchron. Not that many people play this lineup, especially Jet Synchron, but my idea over this is when you use Makaba to discard something, a lot of cards are just dead. But with these cards, they're still alive. They're still a tuner. So you can send one of these to the graveyard with Makaba, and they're kind of still alive. Because if you don't know what they do, is once per duel, if you send one for Jet Synchron, you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, and Glow Up Bulb, send 1 card from the top of your deck to the graveyard. Basically, you just can special summon them once per duel from the graveyard onto the field, so they're not dead once you Makaba them, and I think that is very valuable. So I play both of them, and synchros are strong in Blue Eyes, so a tuner that can be used twice it's a free Crystal Win or a free True King of All Calamity, and I'll show you those plays later. Or I'll show you them. Then the one effect later, we don't play anything besides that. It's 20 monsters, 20 spells, so it's just a nice round off. And if you need effect failure again, Master can get you another one or put it back into your hand once you use it. But you don't need it that much because again, Makaba negates monster effect. So that's exactly 20 monsters. 3 magical meltdown. It's a field spell. You drop it, you get to search an Alistair from your deck to straight to the hand. Second effect is none of your fusion monsters can be negated as a summon, so they can't negate any of your fusion summons. The one terraforming, you can only play 1, so it's kind of self-explanatory. I would play 2 if they had it at 2, and if you had 3, I'd probably have a 3 terraforming ratio, 2 magical meltdown, or maybe just a 2-2. I don't know. I'd have to do some testing. Triple trade-in. It's a staple in Blue Eyes. You have 8 level 8 monsters, and trading in them just digs deeper into your deck. 2 cards of consonants. Some decks only play, or most decks only play 1, but because we're playing 5 zones and 6 if you count Master, because you can more than once per game you can use Master to get another egg from your graveyard. So cards of consonants is just more draw power. Triple Melody as your search. This is an insane card in Blue Eyes. This deck would probably suck without this. Or Blue Eyes in general would be a lot clunkier without this card. If you don't know what it does, discard 1 card and then search 2 monsters with 3,000 attack or more, or 2,500 defense or less. So you can do alternative Blue Eyes or Chaos Max. You cannot do Dragon Spirit of White, which is a little bit sad, but if you don't have any Blue Eyes or any big level 8s, you can just use this to get 1 alternative, 1 Blue Eyes, and you can special summon an alternative, and that just card you would want to play 3, no doubt about it. So that's searches and the draw power. We don't have dragons, or what is it called, the Return of the Dragon Lord, because it's a little bit expensive in my opinion. It's like $7 a piece, so if I wanted to place it, that's $21. So it's just not worth it for me because it's not a big enough deal. Because Silver Sky is actually really good in this deck because we're using Dragon Spirit of White a lot, and being able to use or summon a Dragon Spirit of White and banish one of your opponent's monsters on their turn with Silver Sky is actually really strong. The one Monster Reborn, because it's Monster Reborn and it's the OG from the anime. Just amazing card, and now that it's not banned, or it hasn't been banned for a while, but like it's pretty good. You can special summon anything from both players' graveyard, no restrictions, no whatever. And Dragon Rival Rhapsody, there's a lot of mixed feelings about this card, but in my opinion, it's a good card because basically people didn't like it because you needed a spellcaster type, but Alistair's a spellcaster, so just about at all time you'll have a spellcaster or caster to activate this card. You wouldn't want to play more than 1, but we only have 4 or if you don't know what this card does, first of all, is you can summon 2 monsters from your graveyard that are dragons. One of them does have to be normal, but Dragon Spirit of White is a normal type in your graveyard, so you can summon 2 of them, and that's 2 free banishes from your opponent's side of the field. So I mean, that's pretty great, I think. This is where some people don't understand. 1 invocation and 1 super polymerization. A lot of people, I would say 90% of builds on YouTube play 2 invocation. I don't understand it. I think 1 is without a doubt the correct ratio, or 1 and 1, because people will play 2 of that and 1 of this. The reason with playing 2 invocation is, if you don't know what this card does, is basically once you use it, you can send it back to the deck, and because Alistair, or if you have a banished Alistair, okay, let me just start. You can use you can use this and send fusion materials from your hand for free, but if they're on the field or your graveyard, you have to banish them. But when Alistair is banished, so if you use Alistair and you banish it, and this card is in the graveyard, the banished Alistair can go back into your hand, and this card goes into the deck, so it brings it back, or it brings itself back alive. So you only need 1. But the thing is people play 2 because they think somebody's going to DD Crow them, and then if they DD Crow the one invocation, then they think that the game's over. But it's really not, because first of all, nobody plays DD Crow anymore. It's not seen in that competitively anymore. So I mean, you can side in if you see the DD Crow, you can have another invocation to side in. But it's not worth it having a second or a dead card, because once you use the first one, or if they don't have a DD Crow, you basically have a dead card in your deck, because the second invocation is just about useless. So the only thing you'd ever be doing with it is using it as a Makaba negate. So I just don't think it's worth having 2. So 1 is definitely the way to go in my opinion. But you can play 2. It's personal preference, but I think the deck's more consistent with only 1, because you never want to see this card in your hand. You never want to draw it. Whatever you do, don't draw it. Super Poly, it's kind of insane. So you can use discard a card and use your opponent's monsters as fusion material, and it can, because it's not like destroying it or whatever, because it's fusion materials, it can get over some that have like some nasty protection effects. To run off the spell cards, 20 monsters, 20 spells. We play 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Dragon's Shrine. I'm thinking of bumping this card up to 2 because it's just that good. The Foolish Burial is only for the Gloat Bulb and Jet Synchron. You never really... This one's better in every other situation if you're not trying to get one of those 2 cards. So I'm thinking of bumping up this to 2. I just don't have space, so I can't do it. But maybe I could make this one a second Dragon Shrine. I don't really know, but yeah, so that's the last 2 spell cards. Now to the extra deck. 2 Invoked Makaba. Once per turn, you can discard. If they use a monster effect, you can discard a monster, negate the activation. If they use a spell card, discard a spell, negate the activation, so on. 1 Elysium. This is the card that you're going to use Super Poly with. So Elysium needs 1 extra deck monster. So if they have any extra deck monster, so if they have like a really annoying extra deck monster, just Super Poly their extra deck monster and like an Alistair or whatever, and you can make him. And he's actually pretty strong, to be honest. He has 3,200, so he can attack over most things. But basically, if you banish. If you have an invoked monster in your graveyard, you can banish it, and every monster on the field that has the same typing gets destroyed or banished. I don't actually remember. It is banish it, all the monsters. So you can field wipe with this, or it's like a dark hole if it's light, but it's pretty good. We don't actually play any more Invoked. You can just side those ones in. So if you're playing against metal foes, you want the fire one, or if you're playing just whatever typing you're going against, just side in that. The Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon, it can attack over things. 2 Blue Eyes Spirits. It's just like you just want to play 2. You don't need more. It can tribute itself to make a light dragon. That's what it does. 1 Azure. It brings back dragons from the grave. It's like Call of the Haunted every turn, or Monster Born every turn. You go into it sometimes. No point of playing over 1. The Michael. It's for a Crystal Wing play. Spend 1,000 life points. Banish a card on the field. The 1 Stardust Spark. It's for True King of All Calamities play. Yeah. The 1 Crystal Wing, it's actually Japanese. It's a really nice boss monster. If you don't know how to get in Crystal Wing, you make him with then you use his effect to pop him to summon Michael. Michael, use 1,000 life points if you'd like to banish something. Then you make him with 1 more tuner, so you need 2 tuners, so that's why Gloat Bulb and Jet Synchron are so good in this deck. The 1 Cloud Castle for the True King of All Calamities play. Of course, True King of All Calamities. Declare 1 attribute. Every monster on your opponent's side of the field with that attribute cannot use their effects or attack, so it kind of just shuts down your opponent's monsters for an entire turn, which is insanely strong. The 1 Hope Harbinger, we don't really make that many rank 8s in this deck, so Hope Harbinger is the best generic rank 8 without a doubt. The one Warlord boss monster, you'll summon it when you summon it. You won't summon it when you don't summon it. It's kind of self-explanatory. It's really strong. The one Underclock Taker. So, Underclock Taker is just the replacement of Alistair, the Invoker of Madness. Alistair, the Invoker of Madness, is only like $7. I haven't actually picked one up, but this is just my replacement until then. Alistair, the Invoker of Madness, is an inherently better card than Underclock Taker, but I haven't picked it up. So that's the one card I need in this deck to complete it to my standards. So yeah, that's kind of the deck. So I just feel like the Invoked engine is so much less or more consistent than just normal Blue Eyes, and I'm just showing how it's so easy to get a Macabre. So if you don't know how to get Macabre, it's a 2-card combo. All you need is a Magical Meltdown or Alistair or a Terraforming. You have 7 of these in the deck, basically. The end goal is just to have an Alistair in your hand. You have 7. Then you need a Light Monster. It doesn't matter which one it is. This is just a common one that you'll get a lot of the time and you want to use. You just need a Light Monster. You play 15 in the deck, I believe, or something like that. So 15 Light Monsters, 7 of these. It's so common to get this combo. It doesn't matter if you're going first or second. You just need a 2-card combo. You use this. This is just to get Macabre. So you have 3 or 4 more cards in your hand. So you can imagine what you can do with the extra cards. Summon him. Use his effect to get Invocation. Invocation uses his effect. Banish this kid. So let's just say that's banished. That's the graveyard. And you use a Light Monster. So Light Monster goes in the graveyard. That summons Invoked Macabre. And as you can imagine, you have 3 or 4 more cards in your hand. So then you use Invocation, send it back to the deck. This goes back into your hand. And then at that point in time, you still have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 if you went second, 3 if you went first. And the thing about this combo is you'll always have an Alistair. So this guy will always have a negate for monsters. And it's just so consistent. It's just really good. So yeah, that's my deck profile for Blue Eyes Invoked. Hope you enjoyed. If you like, I'm going to be doing a lot of budget Yu-Gi-Oh decks and budget discussions and Blue Eyes stuff. Because Blue Eyes is like what I know a lot about. And a couple other decks here and there. But yeah, this is my first video on my YouTube channel, so if you liked, like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Peace.